Hi. So let me see. Um I want to talk about Cory Booker's speech. It was on the Senate floor for 25 hours doing a filibuster to raise awareness about this current administration. It was his pushback against it. I want to share what he said. I mean, he said a lot in 25 hours, but I want to share some of it and give a little feedback. First of all, I want to say thank you to Senator Cory Booker for doing that in the first place. Thank you. I found his speech to be inspirational, definitely heartfelt. But I want to reflect on this one part where he said we have to redeem the dream. We talk about the American dream. And for some of us, it's been a little bit of a nightmare. But there is that thing of um, aspiration, of the idea of what's possible and striving for what's possible. Perhaps I've taken for granted the idea that I can live my dreams, that I can be at a particular station in life and leave and move beyond that station. And we know we have racism here in America. That is a condition that just is. But if you can get your talent, skills, and abilities together here, you can make some things happen and live the life that you want to live. And so that's real. But it has felt like a nightmare since the election. But what Cory Booker is saying is we have to redeem the dream. And he's reaching out and saying that to every American, for those of us who did not vote for this, that we have to redeem the dream. He also made a note that it is up to Americans, everyday Americans, to fight for the kind of place that we want to live in. I think we perhaps rested on our laurels and thought things were good after, I want to say, my parents' generation, but really I lived through a lot of those fights. Everything in Project 2025 they said they wanted to roll back was the progress that I saw people marching the streets for, die for, bleed for. But we had made so much progress. It took a long time, God knows. I'm not saying it was easy. I'm not saying it was quick. It's been long and harrowing. No police officer actually went to jail for using excessive force, killing an unarmed man, a black man, until George Floyd, which wasn't that long ago. And now they have put Trump in office. And when they're talking about releasing Derek Chauvin, it feels like really, really dark days when it felt like finally we're getting to the point where it's a just nation, where people can, we have some challenges, but the gross social injustice, we thought it had quelled some, but the beast is back. Cory Booker says we have to excite people again. Other people want to divide us against ourselves. They want to divide us against ourselves. They want to make us afraid. They want to make us fear so much that we will be willing to violate people's fundamental rights. And I feel like that's a part of why so many people voted for Donald Trump, honestly. Mostly when I hear people talk about voting for him, they knew he was going to tear things down, but they thought it was going to hurt those people over there, so they were with it. Sad state of affairs. He says willing to go after speech on college campuses, law firms and judges, and freedom of the press. Don't let him do that. Don't be like him, he says. Be an American that says, I look to the future. And I'm excited. Yes, things are tough right now. They're hard, they're scary, and we're hurting, but we can overcome this. Our American testimony. Wow. I just that has been our experience here in America. That has been our experience. It has been tough. It's been hard. Things have been scary, and we have hurt, and we have consistently overcome. And the forces that we face now, we have consistently faced them. He says, if it's nothing else, it is the perpetual testimony of the achievement of impossible things against impossible odds. We are a nation that is great, not because of the people who are trying to whitewash our history, to remove great people, our Native Americans, Black people, and women from our military websites. No. He says, I don't want, and before I move on, let me comment on that, because I went all the way through grad school and never, of all of the textbooks and all the references that they gave us to study, nowhere in there was there an idea presented by anybody Asian, Native American, African, nobody. The only people that I saw was white people, primarily white men. And I remember really being pissed off at some point because it became apparent that the education system was designed to maintain the status quo, not to teach me anything other than that or beyond that. So it kind of entrenches the colonized mind. If you're not a critical thinker, right? The institutions that we have continually perpetuate these same ideas, and this is part what we're seeing now is a pattern of behavior. You can go to Egypt and they blew the noses off the statues there. So this thing of whitewashing history, erasing indigenous people and women from history, is hardcore colonialism, or we call it white supremacy, which is all of us up in it together. He says, I don't want a Disneyfication of our history. And that's usually what we get. Everybody look the same. Nothing really happened and there were no real fights. White people are the ones that decided how everything was going to be. They were the ones that's always in control. Nobody ever resisted anything. Everything is fine. I don't want a whitewashed history, he says. I don't want a homogenized history. Tell me the wretched truth about our America, because that speaks to our greatness. Which is an interesting take, but it's like growth. And you can really look at Black people in this context, because We know our history here has absolutely been wretched. And to see the brilliance that comes out of our community, in spite of how we thrive, in spite of every obstacle that's been thrown in our way. Consistently, like consistent. Right, white supremacy, like it morphs, it'll change form, it'll like it's relentless. So that idea that it actually speaks to our greatness is something to think about. There are times when what I reflect on is when things are hard, it gives me the opportunity to notice what is working, to notice and to be grateful. That's my way of dealing with, coping with really hard and challenging times. That's part of how I find resilience during that time. And so, I guess I'm grateful for my people and the things that they taught me. My father was a lawyer in the 60s, just about unheard of, from Alligator, Mississippi, came out of abject poverty, but he rose. He Black in America, he gets no help. Trust me, man, no help. Here every time we rise, what white supremacy does is tries to knock you down. Like, no, rising is not what you're supposed to be doing. Which is why things are so tense right now after Barack Obama's presidency, man. These people about lost it. So that's it. I wanted to just come and share what Cory Booker said, give my appreciation for his fight and also for sharing that sentiment, because I do feel inspired. Somebody does feel like it's such a dark time. And I just thought that after we made so much progress, after they went through all of that we were done, right? And we were getting ready to move forward and life was going to be better. And you got these people that just want to go back. They want to get stuck back in time. They talking about when we have equality, the white men especially, are falling behind. We're falling behind. And which is, I'm like, okay, hold on. Now, the rhetoric has been all this time that you all are superior. White supremacy, that you're superior. And so, how are you superior if when the playing field is level and women, and people of all ethnicities have equal opportunities, how are you falling behind? And a system that was designed for you to give you advantage. So it definitely is making us go, oh, so it's not that they're superior in terms of ability. It's that the system they want to design so that they have unfair advantage, right? Where it's rigged, so that they're superior. That's what they want. They want to be superior to everybody else in terms of opportunity, in terms of access, in terms of power, in terms of control. So we're seeing it, I think, in ways maybe we hadn't seen it before. So that's an opportunity, and especially the whitewashing. I know people I've heard of that before, but we're actually seeing it in real time with them, like, pulling up Black Lives Matter Plaza, and I think what else did he do? He removed people from the website. did they end Black History Month? I think they ended Black History Month. And I think they're talking about attacking the African American Museum. It's crazy. Like, I'm not banning books from schools. Like, it's deep, deep. But now we're seeing a pattern. I mean, that's the good news. We get to see the pattern. It's right here out there for us, for everybody to see. It's not hearsay. And then we hear the lies. Like, we know they lie. But this is deep. Just to watch it unfold. So I'm grateful to be able to see it. Like, it's just right out there in front of your face. You know, when we started talking, we talked about the elites. We didn't really know who the elites were. We talked about it, but now they're right there. There they go, right there. Elon Musk. Right, the rich. Yeah. We see the game that they're playing on the people, because they really do, these white people. They're rich. He just went along with them long enough to get their vote, to get the power and access that he wanted. And now he's turning around and doing what he wants to do, which is really stabbing a lot of those people, the MAGA people in the back. Oh my goodness, a lot of them are really upset with, justifiably so. But hey, we are all in this thing together, whether we want to be or not. So it is what it is. Once again, thank you to Cory Booker for speaking up. Thank you to Jasmine Crockett. Thank you to AOC. Thank you to Bernie Sanders. Ayanna Presley. Just shouting out to people that I've seen that are really Roland Martin for keeping us updated. Tabitha Speaks Politics. Shout out to everybody. I know it's a lot of people. We are in America, and part of being American, there is that fighting spirit. There's that fighting spirit. It's a way of life, a way of being. So peace out to my fellow Americans. Enjoy your evening. Stay steady.